What's going on, everybody? Today we're doing a power steering flush and reservoir change on my 2007 BMW 335i. BMW, being BMW, didn't make the filter that's in the power steering system replaceable. The filter is built in to the reservoir. So I'm going to change my reservoir along with the fluid that I got here, which is the special CHF 11S for my car. You'll know which fluid you need based on what's written on the cap of the reservoir that's in your car. Make sure you get fluid that matches that, or else it could really mess with the system. You also want to check whether you have active steering or not. This car does not have active steering. My plan today is to change the reservoir, but also to flush the system. The power steering pump sounds like it's on its last legs, and when I went looking for how much it costs to replace a pump, a new pump for these cars is like $700. Don't want that to blow up, so today we're going to change the fluid, hopefully extend its life. Let's go. The first step is to jack up your car so that we can turn the wheels back and forth. We essentially want to be able to move the rack back and forth to pump fluid out of the system, and we won't be able to do that if the car is on the ground. This is my power steering reservoir right here. I use a turkey baster or a syringe to pull out the old power steering fluid before I disconnect it from the top hose there. So I've read these BMW clamps aren't just one-time use, and that if you get a plier or if you get a screwdriver under this right side knob, you can flick it up and release the clip. So I'm going to try and do that now. Clamps off, time to try and slide these hoses off. Nice. After struggling with those BMW silly clamps for a while, I ended up just making a trip to the hardware store and putting in some screw clamps, and they've been holding up for me for a while now. Now with the car safely jacked up, we're gonna get under there, take off the under tray and access the steering rack. We're gonna drain it from its lowest point. With our under tray off, which you need an 8mm socket to remove all the small little fasteners that hold it in, we're going for one particular bolt in the steering rack up here. Looking at the steering rack, we're looking for an easy point of access to drain the fluid. You do have one point of access tucked in here behind this hard line, but there's an even better one. On the passenger side, we have this fitting here. It's a 12mm. We're just gonna loosen this and back out the hard line a little bit and let it drain. We're also going to move the wheels back and forth, like turn them left and right while this is drained to try and pump the fluid out of the steering rack. Oh, there we go. Nice. Just a little dribble into the pan. Now, while we're under here, I'm going to try and move the wheels back and forth like you're turning left and right to see if we can get... Oh, yeah, big glob. Oh, yeah. I'm just slowly turning the wheels to the right now with my left hand off camera. And you see when I stop turning it, it thins out. So really pushing all the fluid out of the rack. Just trying to get a nice consistent squeeze so I don't spray it all over my subframe. When you put this hardline in, be very careful to put the tip of the hardline in first, then do the threads. The threads should start by hand. You shouldn't have to use a wrench to get them started, so be careful of that so you do not cross thread this. Oh yeah. Get in here with the wrench. That's good. Now get a rag, clean this up, and back to the top of the car. Alright, now with our hardline connection reconnected down at the bottom, we're going to put in our special CHF 11S fluid, fill it up, and then we're going to move the wheels back and forth to try and fill the steering rack before we turn the car on. And I'm going to move the wheels back and forth. Yeah, the reservoir is burbling. We got air pushing up. Don't hear it happening now. I think it's time we turn the car on and with the wheels in the air, steer the car left and right. You don't ideally want to run your car with air bubbles in your power steering system or low on power steering fluid. Now you just want to get under the car, make sure it's not leaking at that hard line that we loosened and put back in place. Check over everything, put the under tray on, lower the car, take it for a drive, and check your fluid probably after your first drive just to make sure it doesn't suck up an air bubble and lower your fluid level in the reservoir. Finally, we want to check our fluid level on the stick. With the car off, I believe it should be between the first and second notch. You're looking for the wet mark. You can see mine's just kind of at the first line. I'm going to top it up a little bit more, and then we'll be good. You don't have to worry too much about overfilling, but it will make a mess because this hole here is meant to vent any excess fluid out of the can, and it will drip on the side of the can if you have too much. That's a wrap on the power steering flush, drain, and refill on this 2007 BMW 335i. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, drop a comment down below, smash the like button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching as always, and have a good day.